are definitely one of the trickier parts of the body to focus on in Pilates exercise and in any movement in general. The shoulder blades are triangular bones which sit on the back of the rib cage. They also have bony prominences that come out where some of our chest muscles attach to from the front. The shoulder blade, the scapula itself, actually forms the socket of the shoulder. So it's very important with regards to shoulder and arm movements. And really there's very, very little bony attachment to the rest of our trunk. It's literally scapula into the collarbone and across into the front of the chest. Okay, which is why we have such mobile shoulders, because of the lack of bony attachment. But it means that we're very dependent on muscular stabilization of the shoulder blades. And it can be really tricky because if one problem develops in the shoulder blade, it tends to trickle down and cause problems in other places. So if you think about the two shoulder blades, they should be flat against the rib cage. Okay, so if you were to lie on the hard floor, you shouldn't feel like the bony edge or tip of the shoulder blade is digging into the floor. If you're very tight in the front of the shoulders, I would often cue trying to find the wide open or smiley collarbones, because if you can find the widest position for your collarbones to be in, that often brings the shoulder blades into that nice flat position against the spine. What I would also cue sometimes is that the shoulder blades are kind of hugging or holding against the rib cage to try and give you that nice flat sensation. And that can often trigger a sense of muscular activity in the lower tip of the shoulder blade, which helps to hold the shoulder blade against the rib cage, which is what we're looking for. It also has an influence on our neck muscles, because if our shoulder blades are too high, that puts our our neck muscles in a really short, kind of tense position. So oftentimes at the start of the class, I'll just cue the shoulder blades to maybe melt or sink down the back. The shoulder blades can move in lots of different directions. They can move up and down, they can move in and out, and they can also rotate, and any combination of movements of that. So as I said, it is a really tricky one to get right. Lying down on your back, it's relatively easy to feel the shoulder blades, especially if you're on a fairly firm surface where you might feel that the bony shoulder blade is digging in. If you're very tight in front of the shoulders nearly might feel like they're lifted off the floor. And for people like that, I often cue them to rotate their palms out, which gives that little bit of width across the collarbones, and just allow the arms to rest out to the side. And that is often needed to help the shoulder blades to find that flat position onto the floor. Then to find the movement in the shoulder blades, I will often tell people maybe to hold on to something, because that makes it a little bit easier, to hold on to like a football or a book, and look up towards the ceiling. You're going to feel like your shoulder blades are sliding apart as you reach that block up towards the ceiling, and you're going to feel the shoulder blades sliding back together as the block starts to come back down. So note that the movement is not in my elbows, it's in my shoulder blades. I'm reaching up and then sliding back together. Okay, so that's opening and closing shoulder blades at the back. Arms down by your side, and then up and down is relatively straightforward. Sliding the shoulder blades up underneath the ears, and then sliding the shoulder blades down. And note that either whether you're going up or down, or whether you're going open and closed, it should be the shoulder blades and therefore the arms moving. You shouldn't feel that as you pull the shoulder blades down that the ribs start to lift, or as you shrug the shoulder blade up that the chin starts to lift. The shape of the spine and movement in and around the rest of the trunk should not be affected by the shoulder blades. If you are finding that something else is moving, then you're just taking the movement a little bit further than it needs to go. On your hands and knees, then this is definitely trickier, because now you've got the weight of your trunk going through that connection between the shoulder blades and the rib cage. And it's a really nice position to work in. So that idea of the opening and closing of the shoulder blades, where you're sliding them towards each other and then sliding them away from each other, just making sure that as you do that, that the shoulder blades don't start to creep up underneath your ears, or that the ribs don't start to join in the movement, where the ribs start to move up and down as well. Just find the movement in the shoulder blades. Up and down again here is a little bit easier, but it can be trickier to feel if the ribs are moving. So as you're pulling the shoulder blades down, just try not to sink the ribs down as well. Alright, think of that idea of the candle lying underneath the ribs, and you don't want to let those lower ribs feel the heat of the flame. So just see what kind of movement your shoulder blades can find without losing the neck position or losing the rib position.